Hey guys, welcome back to Mr. Beer's virtual classroom. Today we have a little bit of a demonstration set up for you guys. This is about, I want to address a few misconceptions that have to do with our knowledge about cells and how they work, their structure and their function. So there's a few misconceptions out there that are pretty common among middle schoolers and high schoolers. Did you know that up to 24% of middle schoolers and 19% of high schoolers think that cells don't need water to live? They don't need water to perform their everyday functions. And on top of that, you've got another 13% of middle schoolers and 9 or 10% of high schoolers that believe that cells are either completely solid, where nothing can go in and nothing can go out, or that cells are completely full of air. So hopefully this demonstration will address that a little bit. Hopefully this demonstration will show you guys that cells do need water, and that cells in fact are not solid and they're not full of air. So what I have here, I've got some potatoes. I've got a raw potato and I've got a cooked potato. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these potatoes, we'll start with the raw potato, and we're going to fill this cavity that I've dug out with a little bit of salt. Now what that salt's going to do, that salt's going to dehydrate some of the cells of the potato and make the living cells of the raw potato want some water. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here, and maybe this could use a little bit more water, so I'll go ahead and fill that up a little bit more. And what we should see is the living cells of the raw potato bringing some water up out of this dish and filling up this cavity to replace the water that the salt's taking out of the cells. Now with the cooked potato, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some salt in here, and I'm going to set it in this dish. The difference between the cooked potato and the raw potato is that the cooked potato, the cells have all been killed while it was cooked. There's no longer any living cells. So what we should see at the end of this demonstration is the raw potato has some water in the cavity, and the salt in the cooked potato is still dry. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to watch this entire demonstration go out, and so for the purposes of this, I've prepared some of the potatoes in advance so that we could see the final result of the demonstration. Now what we see here is I've got 2 raw potatoes, and the first thing that I notice that hopefully you guys can see, maybe if I just pour some of this out you'll be able to see it, these potatoes have absorbed some of the water from the dish because of the salt. Now here's a cooked potato that I prepared earlier. That salt is still dry. And so what we can see there is that the salt in the cooked potato stayed dry, but the potatoes that have living cells, the raw potatoes, they counteracted that salt that was dehydrating their cells by sucking some of the water up out of the dish and into that cavity. This demonstration, I believe, can be used for a middle school classroom, maybe a high school classroom, but it can be used in any unit that's addressing cell structure and function, that's addressing the things that cells need to survive, that's addressing anything to do with stuff that moves in and out of cells, but especially water. This demonstration shows that the cells in the raw potatoes, the still living cells of the raw potatoes, needed water to survive, and they got that water by counteracting the salt that we put in the potato. And the salt that we put in the potato by filling up the cavity where the salt was to hopefully counteract some of that dehydration. Anyways, thanks for watching.